Hey guys, so this weekend I decided to make a game for my Stackathon. So what I was really inspired by was Jackbox games. If you've ever heard of Quiplash, they are the company who makes it. What I really like about it is that it incorporates the social aspect of gaming and being able to communicate in real time with it. So naturally, sockets came to mind immediately. So the basis of the game that I'm basing it on is like an old parlor game that many of you have probably played, where you take a piece of paper, everyone has their own paper, they draw something on it, they fold up their drawing, or they pass their papers to another person, the person comments and says what the drawing is, and then you fold up the original drawings if someone draws based off of that comment, and so on until you have a long paper full of transformative drawings that get really goofy. So after years of being an artist and an actor, I lovingly titled it Everyone's a Critic. So I can't really show a full demo of the game because a full session would be like 8 minutes long because a lot of it runs off of timers, or I'd have to have 4 windows or so open up. But I can show you a few of the components. Since I made it in React with Redux, everything is super functional and super modular. So basically what you'll do is you'll host a new game, and this will set you as a client of the game, which means you'll be watching the timers, you'll have the code to your room displaying, and it'll show you how many you need minimum to play. 4 is really the best because I had a custom derangement algorithm to shuffle the drawings in between that really only, because it's really fun when you have at least 2 steps away from the previous drawing you've done. So then once a game is being hosted, you can join a game, you type in the room code and your name to access it. And now Hamlet's playing and we're waiting for 3 more. So the next person can play, but if they type in the other code that I have, she'll be in her own server. So she didn't get added to this room because Socket.io makes rooms super great. So another technology I used on this side, and really what I spent most of my time integrating, was Redis. Redis works really well with Socket.io and Redux and React because Redis is super great for pub/sub, which is a lot of what you're doing, and none of my data needed to persist beyond a few rounds or so. But I can show you the other big part of my app, which should be familiar to full stackers at least. Oh no, that got messed up. But anyway, the other side is a lot like what we did with our whiteboard thing, except for instead of having the whiteboard being broadcast across the things, you're drawing it individually. It'll look much better once I have some styling and it's not broken out. And then when you submit it, it'll be submitted to a database. When you use submit, you can actually run a function right off of the Canvas API that will basically just take a snapshot and encode it in base 64 as pretty much a string. So that made it super easy to pass back and forth to my database. So yeah, so it's a really fun game. It's super easy to play, and I think it's accessible to most age ranges. Some things you can look to do in the future with it. I definitely want to add CSS styles and transitions, because right now it's kind of jumpy in between stages. In the future, maybe I'd like to add like a Twitch hook, because some of the Jackbox games have interactivity with an online audience, which is really cool. And yeah, that's about it.